Charlie Woods was stepping into the spotlight, and he wasn't doing it alone. A huge crowd followed his every move. Reporters filled the sidelines, and walking calmly inside the ropes was Tiger Woods himself. Hat pulled down, arms crossed, quietly observing. Everyone knew this wasn't just another young golfer. This was Tiger's son. Charlie had earned this stage. Just weeks earlier, he battled through a tough AJGA win that got people talking, then sank a clutch birdie in a three-man playoff at Coral Springs to claim the final U.S. junior qualifying spot. It wasn't handed to him, he fought for it. By the time he arrived in Dallas, the buzz was intense. Golf Monthly called him a dangerous wild card, and NBC analysts noted how much sharper his game had become. Every swing was being watched, every move recorded. For Charlie, this was both a dream come true and the ultimate test. As he stepped onto the first tee, focused and composed, with Tiger just a few paces behind, the message was clear. This was his moment to prove himself. Charlie Woods didn't show up to be watched. He came to compete. His walk, confidence, and calm focus had everyone thinking something special was coming. But by mid-morning on July 21st, excitement turned into disbelief. After months of momentum and hype, Charlie opened his U.S. Junior Amateur run with a rough 81 8 over par, placing him 242nd out of 264 players. In just 18 holes, his position went from promising to uphill. Trouble started early on the front nine as he struggled off the tee, with drives missing both ways and finding thick rough. 2 double bogeys and a string of bogeys quickly pushed his score higher. What began as a nervous start turned into a tough round that Golf Monthly called an uphill task before day 2 even began. By the 5th hole, the atmosphere had shifted. Cheers faded, phones went down, and the excitement turned into quiet concern. Everyone was still watching, but now with empathy instead of anticipation. On the back nine, there were brief signs of life. Charlie managed 2 birdies, including a smooth 12-foot putt on the par 3 13th. But by then, the damage was already done. His rhythm was off, and the confidence that usually defined his game just didn't return. Each good shot seemed to be followed by another setback. What stood out most wasn't just the score. It was the body language. As Yahoo Sports described, one moment said it all. Charlie looked up at Tiger, then down again. No words, just a quiet acknowledgement that the round had slipped away. When he walked off the 18th green, there was no smile, no nod to the crowd. Just a slow, quiet walk to the clubhouse with his cap pulled low. What began with hope and energy ended in silence. This wasn't just an off day, it was a tough unraveling to watch. It's one thing to see a rough round unfold in person, but another to look at the stats and realize how rough it really was. NBC Sports and WFAA were direct. Charlie Woods had one of the toughest days in the field at Trinity Forest. His driver struggled from the start, finding only 3 of 14 fairways, one of the lowest totals of the entire event. On a course set up for championship play, missing that many fairways meant he was fighting from bad lies all day. The problems didn't stop there. Around the greens, things unraveled further. His scrambling, the ability to recover and save par after missing the green, was almost non-existent. Each miss seemed to lead to another mistake, whether it was a mishit chip or a short putt that didn't fall. His numbers on recovery and putting made it clear. This round never really got off the ground. Charlie's putting numbers told the story just as clearly as his driving. He averaged 1 full stroke more per hole than the field, a massive difference on fast, firm greens where every putt counts. NBC reported that Charlie took 35 putts, while players who made the cut were closer to 28. Add to that 4 double bogeys, and his momentum never had a chance to build. Each time he seemed ready to recover, another big mistake sent him sliding further down the leaderboard. By the end, he finished 12 shots behind the projected cut line for match play, well out of contention. As Charlie walked off the 18th green, the focus shifted immediately to Tiger Woods following behind. Hat low, arms crossed, eyes forward, silent. Throughout the round, Tiger stayed close, walking inside the ropes, but never stepping in. No fist bumps, no advice, no visible encouragement. Reporters noticed the quiet tension. Yahoo Sports called him tense but composed, while Golf Monthly noted that his expression didn't change even after Charlie's fourth double bogey. It wasn't anger or disappointment. It was something deeper, a moment between father and son, where words weren't needed. The image said everything. The greatest golfer of his generation watching the next one struggle under the same spotlight. How do you escape a name like Woods when it's on your bag and your father is only a few steps behind you? During his rough first round, Charlie looked back at Tiger after several bogeys, not in frustration, but as if silently asking what to do next. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Day 2 at Trinity Forest brought better weather and one last chance for redemption. Charlie responded with a steadier 74, 3 over par. The big mistakes were gone, and his composure returned. But in championship golf, improvement doesn't always mean survival. His 2-day total of 14 over par left him 12 shots short of the match play cut at +2. NBC Sports called it one of the week's most talked-about exits, not just because of his name, but because so many believed his game was ready to prove itself. That belief came from moments like his clutch birdie in Coral Springs earlier in the summer, where he showed maturity beyond his years. That was the Charlie fans expected. Focused, confident, ready. Instead, they saw a young player still learning under the harshest spotlight imaginable. Every tournament he enters will be watched, analyzed, and judged. He doesn't just carry his clubs, he carries a legacy. It's a heavy load for a 15-year-old, but showing up again after a tough day says something powerful about his character. There's something in that second round 74, the grind, the effort, the refusal to quit, that speaks louder than the numbers. Greatness isn't forged in highlight reels. It's built through recoveries, setbacks, and silent perseverance. Is this the making of a champion or the start of a harsh reality check? Either way, Charlie's story is far from over. Every swing is captured, every move dissected, and just off the fairway, Tiger Woods stands, quiet, stoic, watching. His presence says everything. The build-up had been immense. NBC Sports and Golf Monthly both hyped Charlie's run after his clutch playoff win in Coral Springs, calling him a name to watch. He wasn't coasting on his father's legacy, he was carving out his own. His AJA win and cold-blooded playoff birdie had silenced doubters. By the time he stepped onto the grass in Dallas, one thing was certain. This wasn't Tiger Woods' kid playing golf. This was Charlie Woods, the contender. But golf is cruel. It doesn't care about legacy, last names, or headlines. Under pressure, even the most promising talents can crack. What unfolded at Trinity Forest wasn't just a bad round, it was a shock to everyone watching, even Tiger. The first tee shot hooked left. The second hole turned into a double bogey. And by the time Charlie made the turn, the wheels had come off. His scorecard told the story. 81 strokes, 11 over par, tied for 242nd out of 264 players. In a field built for breakout stars, Charlie found himself near the bottom. On the front 9 alone, he was 8 over. Tee shots were erratic, approaches short, and the short game, usually his weapon, looked uncertain. Multiple double bogeys, including a disastrous back 9, a flicker of life. A birdie on 11, clean drive, crisp iron, 1 putt, a brief smile. Another birdie on 15. Was the tide finally turning? Not quite. A bogey on 16, a misread on 17, and a mercy par on 18 ended put on the par 3 7th. Erased any early momentum. The rhythm vanished. The confidence wavered. Every swing looked like a guess. Every shot a reminder of how unforgiving this game can be. Then came it all. But the scorecard wasn't the only thing that spoke volumes. Yahoo Sports described it perfectly. Charlie walked slower, shoulders slumped, trailing behind his playing partners. He looked up toward Tiger, then back down again. A quiet, heavy exchange that said everything. This wasn't a meltdown. It wasn't a learning moment. It was a collapse. And with just one round left to play, the question wasn't, can he win? It was, can he survive the cut? Emotion aside, the numbers painted a brutal picture. According to NBC Sports and WFAA, Charlie Woods' first round at the U.S. Junior Amateur placed him deep in the bottom tier across nearly every key stat. Out of 14 fairways, he hit just 4. A 28% accuracy rate, far below the field average. On a course that punishes missed tee shots, that's a recipe for disaster. His scrambling, the ability to recover and save par after missing greens, ranked among the lowest of the day. The round wasn't just rough, it was revealing. Missed chips, tentative flops, and shaky reads turned routine saves into bogeys, fast. But the stat that hit hardest? Putts per hole, 2.1. It might not sound disastrous until you remember that elite juniors average around 1.6. Half a stroke here, half a stroke there, it adds up. And for Charlie Woods, it added up to an 81, then came the double bogeys. 4 of them. Not 1, not 2, 4. Each one erasing any hint of rhythm. A 3-putt here, a chunked chip there, and suddenly, the short game once hailed as his strength looked fragile under pressure. NBC's projections made it official. The match play cut sat around +2 or +3. Charlie, +11 after day 1. That's a 9-shot gap, a chasm no one realistically closes in one round. The math said no, but pride doesn't care about math. For Charlie, round 2 wasn't about making the cut anymore. It was about proving something. To himself, to his dad, to everyone watching. Because as he walked to the 10th tee, the camera found a familiar silhouette in the crowd. Tiger Woods. Cap low, arms crossed, eyes fixed straight ahead. No words, no gestures, just silence. AFP and Yahoo Sports captured it perfectly. A father watching his son fight the same unforgiving game that once broke him, now testing the next generation of Woods. This wasn't the proud, hands-on Tiger Woods we've seen at the PNC Championships. The dad who knelt behind Charlie to read putts, whispered advice between holes, and offered a fist bump after every good swing. This Tiger looked different. Still, stoic, almost statuesque. Each shot his son took seemed to weigh a little heavier. Not just as a golf stroke, but as a moment tied to the family name. Charlie noticed, after a flared drive, a pulled putt, or a sloppy double bogey, his eyes would drift toward the rope line, toward his father. But Tiger didn't move. Not a nod, not a tilt of the head. Just that familiar, unreadable stare from beneath the Nike cap. And somehow, that silence spoke louder than anything he could have said. Golf Monthly and WFAA both highlighted the moment. Tiger Woods, usually animated in support, was now motionless, detached, watching his son fight through what could only be described as a golfer's nightmare. Analysts speculated endlessly. Was he frustrated? Hiding emotion? Letting Charlie stand on his own? Or did he simply not know how to respond to a public collapse from the son he's tried so carefully to protect? Whatever the reason, one thing was undeniable. This wasn't disappointment. It was something deeper. The kind of quiet only a father and son understand. And in that stillness, Charlie didn't need to hear a word to know the truth. The scorecard said it all. 81 on day 1, tied for 242nd out of 264. The cut line, 9 shots away. As he walked off that final green, the crowd hushed, the cameras lingered, and for the first time in his young career, Charlie Woods wasn't chasing glory. He was facing reality. He was facing reality.